Hey, so what's good, YouTube? Welcome to the channel, your girl Natasha Nisha. So on this one, I'll be sharing some of my opinions, observations, and understandings thus far in the situation of narcissism and LGBTQ. Now, these are just my opinions, so this is a disclaimer, and also there's nothing fixed or nothing concrete. I am able later at a later stage to change my opinions if I am presented with new data, evidence, etc. So let's get into it. So the link or connection between narcissism and LGBTQ. This is some of what I found, and this is from observing and pondering many cases, and this both in my immediate friends and family circles, as well as some of the celebrity cases that we see out in the news, in social media, what have you. So, for a little bit of background, what is narcissism? Narcissism is a personality um, deficiency, a condition rather, whereby the person is not in touch on the one hand with their true self. So there is the inflated sense of self, and this is shown out as an infatuation with the self, and as a result, there's no capacity to empathize with the feelings and experiences of others, and so they identify with an idealized self-image of themselves, one of perfection, one of them being superior, and they are also known to be people of the lie. And this comes from the fact that they want to be seen and appear as good, but they lack the true motivation to be good. And this is good in their actions and deeds, They want to appear good, but they don't want to do good things and be good. So this goodness of theirs is just a pretense, and this is some of the self-delusion and self-deception that comes with narcissism. So back to the topic, narcissism and the LGBTQ. So basically, this condition, of narcissism, has tons of self-loathing. There's the self-loathe, there's the shame, there's tons of insecurities all within the person, and as a result, they have to keep up this facade to hide this, and this is tiring, exhausting, and uncomfortable, like I would presume. And there comes in the saying, there's no rest for the wicked. So either ways, many times I've noticed that if the narcissist in a family dynamic is a parent, let's say the male parent, then many times the male offspring, the male son, the son in their family follows suit. If the father is narcissist, and then the male son will also many times be a narcissist himself. And this is some of what I noticed. And if there's a sister, a female in this family, many times this female is trained or groomed to be empathetic, to be an empath, so that she can feed into the needs of the narcissistic parent. And this relationship is like a lock and key, one in which the narc feeds off the energy resources of the empathic child. So, back to the topic. So now we have a situation whereby the male father is narcissistic, and as a result, his son, the male son, gets this character trait, is now also growing up to be narcissistic. So, as a result, we find that the son starts firstly to loathe his father, the narcissistic parent, and this is as a result of the general neglect in the upbringing, the control issues, and the shaming of the narcissistic father, the absence of the narcissistic father, and this is an absence of love and just of seeing the child, so the child has unmet needs from the narcissistic father. So as a result, the child tends to loathe the narcissistic father. And then there's also another coupling factor whereby the child tends to loathe themselves because they are an image of the father, but also because of the internal challenges that come with the narcissism, that shame, that insecurity, there's this inner discord within the child. So as a result, the child doesn't want to be like the parent and doesn't want to be themselves. They'd rather be somebody else. So these are some of the motivators for them becoming LGBTQ plus. And yeah, so as a result, they don't want to be like the parents and they don't want to be themselves also. So there's also something to add to this, and that is that the narcissistic condition has one, in the loop of self-deception, whereby there's a pretense of, they good and there's no bounds, or, like morally they are, what's the word now? The moral compass is very weak, So this also has it occurred that like whatever shortfalls or weaknesses or flaws in their character, faults, shortcomings that the narcissistic person may have, they're able to just explain it away to themselves, convince themselves that it's not the case, it's otherwise, and they see themselves as perfect, doing no wrong. So they're also ones who can be evil, but without a conscious of this, they won't own up and step up to this, own it, and admit it even that some of their deeds are evil, So there is this thing where they are without conscious, and the conscious is that part of us deep within that is able to tell us when we're in the right or wrong in our actions. So they're without conscious, and as a result, they are more able to believe the lie. And what is the lie? This lie is that they are the other sex. They are not that sex which they were born in. They are not the sex that they are created to be. So they tend to believe the lie. And this is a two-way solution, because it deals with the parental load and it deals also with the self-load. And now it gives them life again, it's new, it's exciting, and it gives them attention as well, believing the lie that they are now an other sex. It gives them attention, and this need for attention feeds into the narcissism as well, feeds into the, self-idealization that comes with narcissism, and even the need for supply attention, So, as I said, it gives them a new lease on life, taking on this fake persona, this alternate sex, It gives them a freedom, a new lease on life, and also something to focus on other than their internal struggles. So, as a result, this is why many a narcissist goes full on LGBTQ plus. And also to note that, like those in heterosexual relationships as well, whenever the need arises, and this is a need for supply, usually they do dabble in homosexual behaviors, They have no qualms in this regard. There are no boundaries. And as I said, there is a weak moral compass as they explain all their faults away, and also there is the self-deception that comes with narcissism. You know, like even some of the low down brothers that we find, many times the root of this is narcissism. And I just want to mention that thing, you know, like with the gay pride, there is that pride. The gay pride is like known to be the slogan or the motto of the LGBTQ plus. So there's tons of accompanying spiritual things that come with this whole narcissistic thing. So there is also the spirit of confusion, and this is the confusion in who they are, but also to go against God's will, you know, is the confusion. Then there's also, excuse the noise, because I'm almost done. Then also there is the spirit of pride. So this is that pride of wanting to elevate themselves, you know, be better, be superior, be perfect. And then also there is accompanying it is the spirit of control, you know, whereby they want to control others, dominate and control others, but also to control themselves, as in like to self-determine who they will be and not be who God says they are. Some of the accompanying spirits. And then finally there's a spirit of perversion. Now this perversion in the perversion which leads them to become sexually addicted. You know, they're addicted to the sex act, and you'll find things like them being a pervert, them being entertaining porn, you know, and as a result of this addiction to sex, they cross many a boundary sexually, you know. There's not many a things that they will not do in regard to sex. And then finally, I just want to add that just to remember also that many times in the family dynamic, there can be not only one parent who is suffering with narcissism, but both parents. They may be on different levels of the spectrum, you know, and so that's just something to note and consider as well. So this is just some of my thoughts, you know, and some of conclusions that I've arrived at, you know, like as I observe the narcissist here from my immediate family, friends, and even some cases of celebrity, as I said. So I just share this for educational purposes. None of it is fixed. These are just my opinions, and I am able to change them at a later stage if something else is proved to be true. But I just want to say that I don't share this one that people may be hateful to narcissists or hateful to LGBTQ plus people. So that's all for this one. I hope you have some value, and you're going to session. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.